good evening to you. My name is Neil Harvey. You're watching RT International. Let's start in the United States, because the White House has confirmed that President Trump's national security advisor, Michael Flynn, has resigned after less than 1 month in office. RT's Gani Chichikan has the latest from Washington.
All of this started with anonymous officials telling the media that Michael Flynn had discussed the Obama administration sanctions against Russia with the Russian ambassador to the U.S. weeks before Trump took office. What exactly the two men said to each other, we the public still don't know. Initially, when asked, Flynn said that the phone calls were not about sanctions. Vice President Mike Pence and other administration officials reiterated Flynn's account. General Flynn then came back to the media to say he wasn't certain. Tonight, he wrote this.
In the course of my duties as the incoming National Security Advisor, I held numerous phone calls with foreign counterparts, ministers and ambassadors. These calls were to facilitate a smooth transition and to begin to build the necessary relationships between the president, his advisors and foreign leaders. Such calls are standard practice in any transition of this magnitude. Unfortunately, because of the fast pace of events, I inadvertently briefed the Vice President-elect and others with the incomplete information regarding my phone calls with the Russian ambassador. I have sincerely apologized to the President and the Vice President, and they've accepted my apology.
Over the past several weeks, Trump's now former national security advisor has been under tremendous pressure from the press and from Trump's opposition, many of whom were desperately looking to find a connection between the Trump administration and the Russian government.
Tonight, confirmation that President-elect Trump's national security advisor, General Michael Flynn, was in contact with the Russian ambassador to the U.S. U.S. investigators are scrutinizing late December phone calls between Mike Flynn, President Donald Trump's national security advisor, and Russia's ambassador to the U.S.
Trump's national security advisor could be in trouble over a phone call he made before he was on the White House payroll.
Anonymous sources telling the paper that U.S. counterintelligence agents are looking into communications Flynn is said to have had with Russian officials.
There was, figuratively speaking, a target on General Flynn's back way before the phone calls happened. Before Trump was elected, the former head of the Defense Intelligence Agency was blasted in the U.S. media for his appearance on our channel, where he discussed the fight against ISIL. He was blasted for accepting an invitation to RT's anniversary gala in Moscow, where the Russian president was also a guest. Add to that Flynn's apparently not seeing Russia as an enemy and his perceived amicable attitude toward Russia, and you could see how he became the target of many speculations here.
Well, the mainstream media alleged that Flynn's telephone conversation with the Russian ambassador could have violated the so-called Logan Act. That's legislation introduced all the way back in 1799. However, there have been no prosecutions under this act throughout its more than 200-year history. The Logan Act was aimed at preventing private American citizens from negotiating with foreign governments over diplomatic disputes. Despite that, numerous such meetings have taken place with politicians in previous US administrations and without any consequences. For example, back in 2008, the then presidential candidate Barack Obama went on a massive foreign tour during his campaign. Here we can see him sitting down with the Prime Minister of Iraq. While still a candidate, Obama also met the Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas and Israeli President Shimon Peres while in the region. Besides the Middle East, he went to Europe to meet with Chancellor Merkel in Germany and then French President Nicolas Sarkozy. He also held talks with the British Prime Minister Gordon Brown. We asked several experts why Flynn faced so much pressure and why President Obama didn't.
Did in fact have consultations with foreign states discussing policy before he became president, and technically the Logan Act forbids that. The Logan Act is extremely wide, and various accusations